Luckily for me, being called selfish or the word selfish in itself is just no longer an insult. It's like so many people benefit from you being selfless and from you doing things for them first or thinking about other people first. And for some reason, you're always the one that pays for that. You're always the one that suffers because of that. And it's like so many people, especially women, I want women to be more selfish. I want women to think about themselves more because we're taught to be extremely selfless to everyone, to our husbands, to our children, to everyone else. And then that leads to burnout, or that leads to resentment, or that leads to so many other things that women deal with, depression and anxiety and all of those things, right? And this happens to all people, not just women, but I'm speaking to women specifically because the world benefits so much from us being selfless. I'm going to self advocate. I'm going to think about myself because the best way for me to be a better person to other people is if I'm a good person to myself. The fruit of me being so good to myself that it overflows to other people is the goal. It is not me giving you all of me and being completely freaking empty and then having to try to fill myself back up to then pour my. No, I want to fill other people up from the overflow of what's happening inside. I want to be so good to people because I am so good to myself. I want to be completely open to life because I'm completely open to myself and all of the parts of me. So then I can do that for other people.
Hey ladies, welcome back. I'm Tiffany Celeste. Here on this channel, I create content that will help you become your best self by leveling up your mental health, prioritizing your self-care, evaluating your relationships, and creating a lifestyle of ease. So if any of that resonates with you, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and please like the video. Today we're talking about being more selfish with yourself, but let me be clear right from the jump. We're not talking about arrogance, narcissism, or stepping on others to get ahead. I'm talking about a healthy kind of selfishness, the kind where you are centering yourself and your well-being. And also, I encourage you to take my free self-care quiz. It'll help you discover your own self-care profile, and you'll get insights into your self-care habits, values, and boundaries, so that you can start centering yourself, and I'll have it linked in the description. As women, we've been taught to give and give until there's nothing left. Society tells us we're strong, resilient, the backbone of our families and our communities. And while that may be true, if we're really being honest, being the backbone can feel more like being a crutch, where we are always holding everyone else up, even when our own knees are buckling. And this used to be me. I was always the one giving and never getting anything back in return. I've had to learn the hard way that not everyone has the same heart as me. And I had to stop thinking that just because I was willing to go above and beyond for other people that I care for, it didn't mean that they would reciprocate that same effort. And when you finally get to the point in your life when you realize that those people are not you, it will truly set you free from heartache and disappointment. And then you have a choice to make. Do you prioritize you or them? And that's where you start promoting or demoting people as you see fit. And here's the thing, prioritizing yourself is necessary. And there's a big difference between being selfish in a healthy way and being narcissistic. Narcissism is about self-importance at the expense of others. Healthy selfishness is about self-prioritization, so you can show up better for yourself first and then others when you choose to. Make sure you stay into the end of the video, and I'll be back at the end with additional insights and commentary. So let's get into the rest of the video.
I get really selfish with myself because that's what it's gonna take at the end of the day. Like, we have to be in a constant cycle of like releasing and then filling ourselves back up.
Yeah.
That is what I try to do, like, on the regular.
You do have to think about yourself because nobody else is thinking about that for you. Everybody else is too busy thinking about themselves. And so this idea of being selfish shouldn't feel like such a foreign thing for women or a dirty word for women. It's like you have to be. There is no other way to get ahead and to do what you want to do. You have to put your needs and your wants and your ambition first, because no one is going to do that for you.
Hey sis, let's talk about the 5 reasons why you need to be more selfish in your life and relationships now. The number 1 reason is because selfishness increases your self-worth. Hear me out, right? When you stop allowing just anyone and everyone to have access to you, folks will begin to take you seriously. They'll know that they won't always have the opportunity to experience your time, your presence, or just your uniqueness. And so they will come not playing with you, but ready to be serious about what you want to be serious about as well. The second reason is that it gives you more time to do the things that you love, because you're saying no to the things that you don't like. You're saying no to the things that you hate, and you're not being filled up with anger, sadness, and resentment. And you just have more joy, and you want to do things that you love even more. The third reason is that it creates more space for mental and emotional clarity. You're able to observe your own thoughts and see which ones you're actually thinking and aren't coming from external sources. And you're able to feel your own feelings, which allows you to honor yourself more, right? Fourthly, you really begin to know yourself. You start to know what you want, know how you want to feel, know what your desires are. And that equips you to be able to tell others what you want and need from them. And then finally, it lends itself and leads to better, healthier, more happy relationships. Because let's be honest here, ultimately, all you want is to be loved and to be in that relationship that you dream of.
Being selfish has such a negative connotation, and it shouldn't. Like, people need to be more selfish. More selfish with your time, more selfish with your money, more selfish with your energy, all of that. Like, people are just way too giving of themselves to people who just don't deserve it or who haven't earned it. Like, you gotta look out for you. Like, what good are you to everybody if you don't even like what you see in the mirror? You're draining yourself that much, trying to be everything for everybody. No, sometimes you just gotta tell people, man, no, I ain't doing it. I don't feel like doing it today. This is what I feel like doing. I'm gonna stay to myself. I just want to stay at the crib. No, I can't help you out. No, you can't borrow no money. No. When you learn how to say no, life gets so much better. So much better, because you don't feel the pressure to have to, acquiesce to what everybody's demanding from you.
Lately, I've been really selfish about me. I refuse to pour into other cups when mine isn't full, and I cannot always be the one initiating conversations and the checkups, and I refuse to be the only one apologizing when both parties are at fault. I'm not the emotional dumpster, and I'm not the designated pick-a-friend because you're lonely. I'm not always open for invitations, and I'm no longer available on your time. I realized many times that what I gave was more than I gave myself, all in the spirit of giving, but realized it was manifesting in the taking from me. I realized my inability to be available bothered the ones who only needed me for a deed, but were always absent when it was my turn, and my turn was rare, so it's even worse when I think about it. All of the energy that was given never returned, and I overplayed my positions many times. I granted myself a much needed release and decided to pour into me on my terms, my conditions, and for me. Lately, I've been really selfish about me, and I don't care who's not with it. Lately, I've been doing fine.
Be selfish with you. Be selfish with your journey. That's okay. You constantly giving, emptying that cup, and there's no more left. You need to be selfish, not be arrogant. That's not what I'm saying. Right? You need to be selfish with your journey. Put you first. Because if you put yourself first and you're ultimately happy with you, it's going to help me. Right. To help you, mom, dad, auntie, cousins, husband, wife, children, I got to help me first. I have to help me first.
When a woman says that she is entering her selfish era, it literally just means that she is choosing herself. And the reason why that is so powerful is because as women, we are taught from a very young age to be selfless, to take on the burden of others, to prioritize other people's needs above our own, to be the mediator in conflict, to normalize our pain and our suffering and simply just power through. But the thing is, it is not actually inherently bad to be selfish. Obviously, context matters, but someone who is selfish is simply someone who is making decisions with their best interest in mind and having clear boundaries for what they want for themselves and also others. The reason why it is seen as negative or bad is because it is so much harder to manipulate or use someone who is clear in their expectations of those around them and also themselves, and also grounded in who they are. Despite what society wants us to believe, it is not bad to prioritize yourself. It is not bad to say no. It is not bad to live a life based on your own timeline and happiness. It is not bad to stop talking to people who don't deserve access to you, or also to remove yourself from harmful situations. And on the flip side, there's also no reward to living a life based off of what other people want from you, or to taking a backseat to your own life or becoming a side character. So show up authentically as yourself. Be who you are and be unapologetic about it, because you are the most important person in your life and you always will be.
You gotta understand, this world is selfish. So with that, you gotta be selfish too when it comes to you. No one's gonna help you to get where you wanna be, but you. But trust and believe they will help you stay down. They're not gonna help you up. Understand, it is always hard to get out of a situation, especially when people are holding you back. And sometimes it's the ones that you love the most. It's such a weird situation, but yo, it is really like that. It really is, and you gotta be selfish. Put you first. And I'm only saying that because at one point in time, I wasn't selfish. I helped everybody. And I realized when I needed help the most, no one was around. You know? A big slap to the face. But I quickly learned that, yo, alright, I need to change how I move. Yes, I love the same. Yes, I still care. But I care for myself more. That's what I'm saying. Be selfish when it comes to you, because no one's going to help you like the way you help yourself.
I became extremely selfish with my time this year, and I'm very happy about it. See, I've wasted a lot of time being unselfish, and I'll tell you what that unselfishness has costed me. It costed me the most prominent and prime years of my life, from the age of 20 all the way up until my mid-30s. I ran a successful business on paper for a very long time in the HR industry, and it went to shits because I was so unselfish that I put everything else a priority other than my business. And so one day I got sick and tired of it and shut down the company and was broke. I was just never selfish enough to put myself first and dedicate myself to one craft or one art, even when it excited me the most. And I had to hit rock bottom, and I mean complete rock bottom in my life to be able to turn around my life. But the one thing that did change after hitting rock bottom and becoming older and turning 35 and going through the worst shit in my life, I became so selfish with myself, with my time, with my priorities, with my goals, with my worth, with who I am, that I realized being selfish should be the standard for a woman, because we're taught from such an early age to be so unselfish and say yes and okay and put our head down and listen to everyone else but ourselves.
The most selfish woman that you know is probably just taking care of herself. It doesn't matter how many times I tell a woman to be selfish, it's not enough times, because we and taught that we're not people until we start serving someone else. We're not people until we've had a baby. We're not people until a man has looked at us in a certain way. We're not people until we have a ring on our finger. When I'm saying be selfish, be selfish, be selfish, be selfish, what I'm really saying is center yourself, center yourself, center yourself, center yourself. If you want to come out of a pattern of self-neglect, the number one thing you can do is center yourself and focus on yourself, especially if you are a Black or minority woman, because you have no idea how your identity has been taught to you. It's been taken and repackaged to you as a negative thing, We've been taught that as Black women, our viewpoints don't matter as much. We are constantly hearing messaging that, we're not good enough, we're not pretty enough, or we're too aggressive, we're too loud. At the end of the day, you're going to have to decide what your identity means to you. You're going to have to decide to center yourself so much and get to know yourself on such a deep level that you're able to actually begin to show up for yourself and begin to create the kind of life that you want.
Let's talk selfishness and how to have the best selfish era ever. Some of you have been so wrapped up into doing things because other people have wanted you to do them, or doing things based on your socialization and your conditioning. Those are the things that your mom, your dad, your parents, your grandparents, your aunties, your uncles told you needed to do, how they showed you to be a woman, that you really have been living your own life from a place that was not about who you are, what you want, your pleasures, or what you want to feel. And there's often a lot of guilt around being selfish, especially when it comes to Black women, because we're taught that we have to be respectful of our parents and be respectful of our elders, even if you well into your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. But now is the time for you to recognize that you get to take care of yourself. You get to reclaim your power. You get to step back into your divine feminine. And you get to do what you want to do simply because you want to do it. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to take that selfish position in your life, because life rewards the selfish woman. Listen to me and listen to me clearly. A woman who puts her needs first, who puts her pleasure first, who puts her desires first, will always get what she wants, because that's what she is focused on. And energy flows where focus and attention goes. So anything that you focus your energy and your attention on, it will grow. Life will recognize that that is what you want more of, and it will give you more of the pleasure, more of the joy, more of the things that you are creating for yourself. So start being a little bit more selfish with your time. Start being a little bit more selfish with your energy, and start being a lot more selfish about how you take care of yourself over pleasing and taking care of others. It's time for you to start having your selfish girl era and bring on that soft girl era.
Truly, the only person who can look out for you is you. Like, you have to take yourself with you wherever you go for the rest of your life. So you need to develop the habit of looking out for you and prioritizing yourself and your own needs. And it is 100% okay. It doesn't mean that you're just like, fuck everybody else. It just means that you're like, wait a second, everyone else. Let me actually go within and make sure that I am okay so that I can be equipped to help you. You want to make sure that your ship isn't sinking while you're helping other people. Just, save yourself, make sure you're good.
If you have been the type to always give and give in the past, then I understand that putting yourself first may be a hard concept for you to implement. So start small with these 3 practical ideas and then build upon this as you see fit. So the best way to adapt to this mindset of being more selfish about you is, first, say no without guilt. When you're asked to do something that drains you instead of feeds you, say no. Not maybe, not let me think about it. You have to be clear and firm when you say no. Because every time you say yes to someone else, you're saying no to yourself if you don't have the capacity. And then second, schedule yourself in first. Your calendar should have a non-negotiable time for you, whether that's a workout, whether it's reading, or just sitting in silence with a cup of tea. If it's not on your calendar, then it's not a priority. And love, you are the priority. Third, stop explaining your choices. You don't owe anyone a reason for why you need to rest, recharge, or reclaim your time. No is a complete sentence. Stop over explaining and let your decision stand. And let me end with this. You know how on a flight, the flight attendant always tells you to put on your oxygen mask first? And that's because you can't help anyone else if you're gasping for air. So put on your mask, center yourself, start being selfish in the way that centers your well-being and fills you up. I encourage you to take my free self-care quiz. It'll help you discover your own self-care profile and get insights into your self-care habits, values and boundaries so that you can start centering yourself. And I'll have it linked for you in the description. And drop your favorite emoji in the comments if you're going to be more selfish and center yourself and your well-being. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I just want to give a big thank you to all of my current subscribers. I'm so grateful for y'all and thank you for being here. And please be sure to like and share this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.